Laborious Lovers. Today by
Max Guerrero.
Sometimes we ask ourselves if doing a lab is a good idea. Is the time going to worth it? How I am going to manage the workload? A lab is going to be useful at the time to get a job? These questions and more are the ones that our laborious lovers who are already successfully working are going to answer.
Hey guys, welcome to episode 3 of Laborious Labbers with your host, Max Guerrero. Today, we are interviewing someone relatable and who understands some of the struggles that we go through here within the team. I introduce our guest today, an ex-Comm Lab student, Andrea Trevisán. So you want to give us a little hello?
Hello, guys. I'm very happy to be here today and to be able to share my experiences in the Comm Lab and at IE with all of you.
Okay, so yeah, we're super excited to have a little talk to you today and just hang out with you. A little introduction about Andrea. So from Venezuela, and you're 23 right now, and you graduated last year, didn't you? 2020?
Yeah, in the summer of 2020.
Summer 20. So we're very, very fresh.
Mm-hmm.
And you actually studied communications, which is something everyone in this team studies right now. How was that experience for you?
For me, it was super enjoyable because I offered something that I was looking for in terms of not really knowing what in communications I wanted to do. And it just gave me like a really broad example of everything. So you would learn about writing, you would learn about editing, you would do marketing, you would do all these types of things, and then you can kind of choose yourself like what you want to specify on and what you want to develop, and that for me was great. And yeah, it was just a really nice experience to be able to practice everything that I want to do and understand myself better and what I want to do in the future.
A little bit about your work experience and things like that. So you've actually, in the short amount of time that you have been outside of IE and graduated, you've been working on quite a few things, and even while you were still at IE. So do you want to tell us actually a little bit about like what you're doing now and a couple things in the past that you've done, such as like Telefonica and working and doing internships at IE?
Yeah, of course. Right now, I'm the campus and community manager at this Italian company called Talent Garden. And basically, what we do is we are a co-working space for digital entrepreneurs. We provide an office, but not only an office, but also like a community and events and just an entire ecosystem that these companies can plug into and create a bunch of connections. And right now I'm in the campus of Madrid. In Spain, we have 2 campuses, Barcelona and Madrid. And I am basically in charge of doing sales, budgeting, forecasting, and then the more operational side of things.
That's cool.
And before that, I was 1 year in Telefonica.
Yeah.
It was the first internship I did after graduation. And I was in the open innovation department, which basically means when a company is looking for innovation outside that they can somehow bring in or partner with. And we were doing startup investment in the seed stage, which is basically the very first years of a startup, when you're getting the team together, when you're perfecting the idea, when you're doing trial and error. And I was in the accelerator of Telefonica, which is called Open Future. And that was a really enriching experience for me because I got interested in this whole area of innovation and startups.
Yeah.
And how it matches with what I want to do in the future. Yeah. And then during my years at IE, I did a few projects. I worked actually for IE for the marketing department for a while. I did Leap Conference, which is an initiative that we started in Segovia, and we brought a bunch of people, like really cool speakers, Oscar winners, or a guy who is Venezuelan and used to be in jail, but for the wrong reasons, basically because the government imprisoned him. He was talking about his torture and stuff.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, it was really nice. And through that, I started getting into the whole like speaker vibe. We also did some TEDx events. I was writing and editing for the Stork. And yeah, some other
You're doing a lot of stuff. Your years were really packed, huh? So just talking about the Comm Lab, because you actually did the Comm Lab, and even though you can't really remember if it was year 1 or year 2, do you remember any of the experiences that you got from it or some key takeaways that you were doing? And just learned from doing the experience?
Yeah, for sure. I just remember being able to float creatively much more than you would in any other type of internship. So for you to be like someone who just started university, normally when you get an internship, you will not be given as much power as you are in the Comms Lab. So the fact that you can actually go to a client, propose them your ideas that come 100% for like from you without having all the editing of people who think they know better than you, that's really empowering because it gives you trust in yourself and you have the confidence to know that you can come up with great ideas, and then you always have a team that can support you on how to actually like execute them the way you envision. So I had some great experiences. Like it was really nice to be able to come up ideas, pitch it to the client, and actually go and record like a crazy video and have Diana, which was well, she still is, right, the
Yeah,
director
shout
of
out
the
to
lab.
Diana, by the way, for putting
Shout
up
out
with
to Diana.
everyone.
For
But I
putting up
think
with
you've literally
everyone
just put into words just the benefits of the Comm Lab, because that creative freedom and just the liberty to do a lot what you normally can do at a normal internship or a normal sort of like work environment is just starting out.
right.
It's perfect.
And it's not the same as having that creative liberty in like a project for your university, because in the end
Exactly.
you can do whatever you want and the professor will just grade it, but here you actually have to talk and communicate with the client and see if they like it or not, and if they don't like it, how can you adapt. And that is a very real work life scenario that
Mm.
you get to replicate very early on in your university years, so it's pretty cool.
Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Do you want to actually talk about more? Because you mentioned that you did a marketing internship. Do you want to talk about what that actually was and what you did there at IE? And just kind of maybe if you took any of your communication bachelor or communication lab skills into that internship.
Right. So I did a marketing internship at IE and it was in the social media department. So my role was basically coordinating with the agency that IE works with, creating content or developing new lines that we would wanna if like post in the future, and also being kind of like the lookout person of what's happening in the campus and what could be interesting. So for sure, in terms of messaging and having that eye to see like what can be cool, how can we phrase this in an innovative way, I think
Yeah.
some of that practice came from Comm Lab. But then I also did another internship. It was at a TV station basically, and I was in the YouTube section, and I got to edit a lot of videos for YouTube from different companies like Movistar or
Oh, that's cool.
Nat Geo, things like this. And there I got to use a lot of the editing skills, like more practical things that I got from the lab as well. Because I kind of knew how to edit, but after the lab, it was just like, okay, now I got it, you know?
Yeah, exactly. And well, actually, in our previous conversation and our get to know each other sort of talk, you told us that you're actually not doing very much with the comm stuff anymore, and that you're more towards like, like the business and more sort of like numbers, I think is what you were talking about, and data, I think. But do you want to actually tell us a little bit why you kind of fell out of love with like social media and all that kind of stuff?
I think my love for the com side of everything was never related to social media.
Yeah.
The problem is that, well, no, it's not a problem, but it depends on what you like. But usually, like starting positions in communications nowadays are almost 100% related to digital marketing or social media.
Yeah.
And what I would like to do is more the creative side of actually creating a brand, doing the whole like process behind why are we creating this brand like this, what are going to be the values, how are we going to represent that. This type of communications work I still love, and I still love the side of like, okay, we have to create an advert, how are we going to make this like out of the box. I love that. I just don't love the day to day having to like be tweeting every day coming up with something like that, but that's just my personal I don't know
Oh, for
ambition.
sure.
The number side of it is more like I wanted to expand a little bit because I felt like that was lacking through studying comms. I always liked the number side, and some people really hate it, but I've always kind of liked it and I missed it. And it's just very basic things that every business has. I don't think I'm going to do this forever, but for now, it's very complementary to my profile because you need to learn basic things like profits and loss and sales and all these abilities that you can apply to really any job in the future. So I'm taking it as a learning opportunity, like a little master's, I guess, without having to pay, but getting paid for it, which is great.
That works. Yeah, I mean, you're just like, taking advantage of the system.
Hopefully.
Really. So there's a lot of things that you've actually experienced and a lot of things that you've been through in your years at IE and through the Comm Lab and through internships and all that kind of stuff. We actually have a question that you have pre-prepared, and I think it's a good segue into this little segment of if you could actually give us a song that or an artist that reminds you of your good times here at uni doing the Comm Lab and working with all these internships and all that kind of stuff, what would it be?
Okay, so I just thought about this like 10 minutes ago. But this one is kind of personal for me because it's a song that I relate to on many levels. So it's not only university. The artist is Jorge Drexler. He's a Uruguayan singer and writer. And
Oh my God, my co-host, Fran Mackenzie, just went crazy.
yeah, I just saw her fangirling a little bit. And his song is called Sea, which is kind of like Let It Be, I guess, but it sounds more basic like that. But it's just like that. It's like talking about how you're in the middle of the road already, so many things, so many crossroads that you've left behind. And like it's like your life is already a coin that is spinning. It's already spinning. Like you, of course, you can affect the decision. But for me, it's more like not to overthink everything. And I think as university students, we can get a bit too stressed about the future and like what happens if I don't get a job now? What happens if I don't graduate like right now? Or what happens if I fail this class? Or I don't think we need to take everything so seriously. Maybe it's not the best message for uni students to be listening to, but like it's just about that, letting life flow and things will come. Of course, like do your best, put effort and passion into everything you do, but don't stress too much about it because things will come and everything's being already like decided, you know?
Yeah, that's a great song. Like literally my co-host just went crazy. I think that's one of her favorite artists. So that's great.
Now I'm thinking like I haven't gotten a tattoo, but if I get one, I think some line of that song would be the first one because for me, I'm like a very anxious person who loves to overthink. And that's just like a perfect reminder that you just have to chill, you know, and like let it be. And things will come if you have worked for them and if you deserve them, they will come. So
that's cool. That's cool. That's a good song. Okay, so that's your uni years, but now ever since you've graduated, there's actually been a few changes here at IE. And this is actually, you actually don't know about this part, but we actually have a little quiz for you to do. A couple questions that we're going to give you some options and you can respond to us and see how your knowledge of IE still holds up to this day.
Okay.
So this is the first question. This is actually about the IE Tower. This is the new one that you actually did not get to experience, sadly, which, that sucks for you, but not for us. So this one is actually this question of how many floors does the IE Tower have? Does it have 42, 31, or 35?
I have no idea.
It's a big tower. 35?
Yeah.
Is that your final answer?
Sure.
That is correct.
Yay.
Good job, Andrea. Good job. And this is our last one. Okay? So since apparently the slogan of IE has actually changed. So what do you think the current slogan of IE is? Is it driving innovation, redefining uniqueness, or driving positive change?
When did it change?
Apparently it changed. Yeah, or not after you left, but it's changed between the course of over you've been at IE.
Driving innovation, right?
Yeah, it's driving innovation.
Oh, it used to be redefining uniqueness as well.
Exactly. It's a trick question, but
also the logo changed. Before you guys we had another logo.
Well, I think that is actually all the time we have today. So thank you so much for being on our show and being able to talk to us. Yeah, we hope you enjoyed it, and we hope that you have given a little enlightenment to all our audience members who thought about maybe taking the Comm Lab or our communication students in general. So do you have any closing remarks or anything to say?
Not really, just thank you for inviting me, and I hope the best for you guys the rest of your uni years. I hope you really get to enjoy the tower because we did it. And yeah, just have fun.
Thanks so much, Andrea. All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode of The Words Labbers. We will talk to you in the next one. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Bye.